have other reports of damage in Delta, also up in Lenawee and Monroe counties. And one of the places that was also hit overnight was Millbury in Wood County. 13 ABC's Joe Nugent was there.
The wind continued to blow throughout the night here in Millbury, although at much lower speeds than earlier. On Reman Road, there's this house that still stands, another that's missing the second floor, and yet another that's completely destroyed.
Oh, checkbook. I'm looking for checkbook.
That's Tim Miller's home.
The whole impact sounded like you were standing between two trains. It just blew, and you could just feel it rip the house off, and then all you felt was air from the house being gone. There was nothing but air. And the floor stayed on. As you can see, the floor's still there, and we were underneath in the basement. So it just sucked.
Well, you're smiling.
What do you do? My family's alive. That's all I care about.
A similar account at this house where 4 people survived by taking cover in the basement. In the hours after, they grabbed what they could with help from neighbors.
It looked like a giant wall cloud, like something that you see, you know, on National Geographic, not something we see here in Ohio, but evidently that's what it was, because it swung right around and came this way.
The thing about it, you know, is, you know, I got her up and I says, get in the basement, you know, I think I see something coming, and we got in the basement, and it was just like in the movies, you know, you hear your house shaking, stuff falling, and you come out, you never know what you'll find, and luckily we wasn't that bad. These people over here, they all got in the basement and their house was leveled.
The storm's path of destruction left a memory that will never fade, and thankfully on this road, it's only a memory of cars and houses and not something more. On the east side of Millbury, Joe Nugent, 13 ABC Action News.
Extreme storm damage. And as we mentioned, with it just becoming daylight, a lot of this is just unfolding as we speak, trying to find those victims. 13 ABC's Tony Geftis didn't go too far from his own house. He is live in Dundee as we speak. And Tony, what's the latest right now? The road's still closed?
The road is blocked off. This is about as close as you can get to martial law. We've not been able to go west on M50. We can go a little bit east, but not too far. We can only go into the village offices, and that's where they're holding a staging area, trying to inform the media, and we've not been able to get down that way. But I can show you behind and US 23, you can see the pumps knocked clean over, 3 in a row there, and then 1 off to the right as well. And across the street, there's a significant amount of damage to the touristy area of downtown. We've got signs blown off of the restaurants, and then behind those restaurants is Splash Universe Water Park Hotel. Some siding damage there, but if you look over to the actual hotel portion, you can see the 3rd floor knocked clean off the roof there. You can see down the hallway, and the sides of it are ripped right off. And then if we keep going to the left, we've got Cabela's. This is the staging area for the assisting agencies. We've seen firefighters as far away as Ann Arbor coming down here. About a 25-mile radius, a huge coordinated effort. They're first coming to Cabela's, getting into the parking lot, and then getting assigned on where to go. Now take a look.
All right, Amy Montgomery has been there all night and all morning, and she joins us live with the very latest. Amy?
Hi, Lee. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about the scene when we first arrived. Like you said, we were here, I would say, probably about 11 o'clock this evening. Driving down the street, you could barely get down the road without hitting debris. And now that the sun is coming up and it's starting to get lighter, you can truly see the devastation. If you want to take a look behind me here, this is Lake High School, or at least what is left of it. Now, the superintendent tells me that it looks like the tornado, or alleged tornado, went right down the middle of the school. It knocked out windows, some of the buses that are back there in the corner. I believe the transportation director said there were 4 or 5. All of them are totaled. So we're looking at extreme devastation out here in Lake Township. You can see along the fence here that used to be in the front of the school. It is no longer there. The yard is littered with debris, pieces of wood. You can see sticks that were impaled into the ground, just to give you an idea of how strong the winds are, or were, and still are. Actually, the winds have started to pick up quite significantly. Like you said, Christina, there are 3 people that were confirmed dead. I know that there was one just down the street. It happened in her car. Something flew through the windshield. She was an older woman. And then there was another instance where somebody was running either to or from the police station. Another woman in this case, she also died during the storm.
Clouds.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. We're continuing to keep you up to date with the latest information surrounding the tornado outbreak that hit our area late last night into the early morning. 13 ABC's Bill Horman is live in Lake Township, which is part of the area that was hit the hardest. Bill, what's the latest from there?
Well, Christian, we can show you a vivid demonstration of just how strong a tornado is. We're used to seeing what it does to buildings. Buildings are immobile objects. Look at it. Took out the second floor of this municipal building, but look what it did to a parking lot full of cars. This is a Lake Township police vehicle that is pretty much bowed into a U shape. Look at this black car just a couple down. That car was sitting in this very spot last night. It got picked up by this tornado and spun around. You see where that collapsed Pepsi machine is? That's where that car ended up, thrown 50 feet. Vivid demonstration of the power of one of these storms. When you were a kid, you always heard the stories that tornadoes are so strong they can take a straw and push it through the bark of a tree. They are so strong they can strip the bark off of a tree. This used to be bark covered. This used to be the bark that covered that tree, completely denuded because of one of the more powerful tornadoes we have seen move through northwest Ohio. The destruction is almost indescribable. You have to be here to really see it. As much video as we can show you doesn't do it justice. This was a terrible night here. Reporting live from Lake Township, Bill Horman, 13 ABC, Action News.
Incredible video. Thanks, Bill. Now, for all of you folks in Lucas County, there was minor damage to the area. Here's a quick rundown of what we know so far. Lucas County emergency officials tell us 30 to 35 homes suffered minor damage, 3 with major damage, and 1 completely destroyed. 4,000 were without power this morning, but that number is up tonight at 1,700. Authorities say those power outages are in the areas like Lake Township, where you see Bill Horman. Officials are working hard and say power will be restored by tomorrow afternoon. And of course, stay with 13 ABC for the latest on this tornado outbreak. We'll have continuing coverage this evening right here on 13 ABC, 13abc.com, Facebook, and Twitter.
And we do have confirmation of tornadoes in Michigan, waiting for the confirmation in Ohio. We'll tell you more in a few moments.
Now, your first warning forecast, powered by Live Doppler 13,000.
Welcome back. A clean sweep on the radars tonight. A sunshine abundant sunset at 9:12. Here's Live Doppler 13,000 showing that sweep going round and round. We can always zoom in down to your neighborhood, your backyard or front yard, or a big yard downtown. There's Fifth Third Field. A live look shows folks already showing up for the 7 o'clock first pitch. Should be a wonderful night for baseball downtown. Here's that forecast. We start you at the first pitch time around 7 o'clock in the mid-70s, and by that final out, temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Doesn't get much better, in my opinion, for an evening ball game in June. Right now we're at 77 with a light northeast wind. Very low humidity at 52%, and all of us now in the mid to upper 70s, even some lower 70s because of Lake Erie. Monroe's at 73. Had some clouds early today, but those have now moved out, and for this evening, nothing but sunshine. So sunglasses might be a necessity if you're going to be outside looking to the west. Let's talk about the forecast now. Into the evening with Predictor. 13 ABC Predictor shows clear skies tonight. No concerns for rain. Tomorrow, a close call. Look how close the rain comes at noon. First wave of rain dives southward. We should be okay. And then around 6 or 7 p.m., another wave forms to our north. But as it moves southward, hit some drier air, so it may look very ominous on the radars, or that western horizon may darken, but right now it does look dry for Friday evening. Not the case, though, on Saturday. Let's put the maps in motion into noon. We have this first band of rain moving through. Right now, timing couldn't be better. Very difficult to get severe weather to pop up at noon, so the severe chances are dropping for us, but as that line fires back up to our southeast by evening, that's where more likely severe weather occurs in parts of Pennsylvania and southeastern Ohio. For us tonight, clear skies and comfortable. Lows just about where they should be. In fact, that is your normal low, 59 degrees with a light southeast wind. For tomorrow, becoming hot and humid, a high near 90 with those clouds building. That rain should stay just to our west by a few miles. Here's the hourcast tomorrow, that late day high of 90 as the clouds build in. A nice south wind to cool you down naturally at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Here's the 7-day now. After 90 tomorrow, we now have 2 days, at least 90 or better. That includes Saturday, with those showers moving through at noon. A slight chance to be on the back edge of those secondary storms. We'll update you throughout the weekend. 87 and dry for Father's Day. Monday's dry and more storm chances next Tuesday and Wednesday. Still warm, too. Upper 80s.
Looking like summer.
Already, yeah.
All right, Jay, thanks. Dave Holmes coming up next with sports. Stay with us.